Now, there should be no doubt about what that requires. A real, enforceable ceasefire on the contact line, unfettered OSCE access to all of Donbass, including the border, the return of all hostages, free and fair elections in Donbass that meet the OSCE standards and accord with Ukraine's constitution, the withdrawal of all foreign weapons and forces, and ultimately the return of Ukrainian sovereignty along its internationally recognized border. And today, I informed President Poroshenko that the United States will provide nearly $23 million in additional immediate humanitarian assistance to help thousands of vulnerable people who are affected by the ongoing conflict in eastern Ukraine. But without real security in the Donbass, an end to the bloodshed on the contact line, the use of heavy weapons, and the blockading of OSCE access, without that, Minsk is doomed to fail. Now, this was President Obama's message to President Putin in their phone call just yesterday, as they talked very frankly about the steps that are needed to be taken in order to move the process forward. And President Putin indicated that he does have a desire to try to see this process move forward, as does President Obama.
Effective without China making its making progress on its side.
So make no mistake, if Russia chooses the path of de-escalation and full implementation of Minsk, the international community, all of us, will welcome it. And we pledge to work very closely with President Poroshenko to make sure that his government and Ukraine is doing all in its power to live up to its responsibilities. If Russia does not move in the direction of embracing that possibility and de-escalating, then the sanctions will remain in place.
And about the time frame, I'm interested to make it as fast as possible, because Ukraine pay a very high price. Every single day, we have lives of Ukrainian heroes. And a lot of my soldiers is wounded because of Russia is violating the ceasefire using the heavy artillery and weapons prohibited by Minsk Agreement. This is impossible, to be the president in a country in a state of war and not to be optimistic, because this is the only way to return Ukrainian flag to the occupied territory. Yes, I'm optimistic, and I think that we can reach the results in a very short period of time with the support of our partners and allies.
In fact, this report represents the most comprehensive United States government effort to date to name the specific officials who are responsible for or associated with the worst aspects of the North Korea regime's repression. And we have taken this step because it is important to hold people accountable. And I think it's important, President Obama believes it's important, the Congress believes it's important, that all North Korean officials know and understand going forward that at all levels there are consequences.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very much. Is it what?